So through tshuva, he elevates the negative midbar into the virtuous midbar. What's the virtuous midbar?
Higher than Heichal HaMelech, where nobody is in Adam.
Yeah, high. Well, yeah, that's in the moshel, right? In the psukim, like the higher than the city is a place actually Yoshev Adam Shom. In the midbar, there's no Adam, so the Adam Elyon. So it's higher than the Adam Elyon, higher than Ishtalshus, higher than Atzilus, right? Then he explained, Abi v'im yazavuni v'Hashem yasfeini. How they explained Abi v'im yazavuni towards the end of the paragraph. So we're up to, we read that. My father, my mother have forsaken me. What does that mean in Avodah? Baruchnius. Huh?
We separated from the Shurish.
You separated from his shirish, from his source. Father and mother are the source. So what's Vashem Yasveini? He adds in brackets, Im hoyanimtze berufus.
That you reconnect with the head.
Huh?
Reconnect with the Reich.
And nonetheless, he's reconnected with the head, and he adds in brackets that physically, that obviously is not possible once the head is severed. You can imagine if there would be in healing. So the question, I didn't address this yesterday, what does he need to say that for? The brackets. What's added by that? What's the Alter Rebbe trying to say? So all this is all from the Alter Rebbe and from the Tzemach Tzedek Sargoyis in Kitzurim. This Maimah goes through it methodically. What does he want to say with that? Yeah, I'm saying at a pshat level. He wants to tell us the impossibility of tshuva, yet it happens. Imagine if in medicine you could reconnect. It doesn't exist. He's pointing out how you would think that he's lost, all is lost, and there's no hope. And b'derech hateva mitzad ishtalshus, the tak is no hope. Avivim yazavuna, you're cut off from the source. Nonetheless, that's the power of tshuva. B'cheli yata, with greater force, even a greater connection. Midbar l'maliyusa, asher lo yoshev adam shom. V'avaya, here, avaya meaning beyond ishtalshus, yasfeni. So then we said these words, we're going to continue, because the last few lines are rather cryptic. Sha'oz nasa, we said this, Metzias Chadosha. We said yesterday, why is it Metzias Chadosha? He's reconnected, so back to where he was. Why is it Metzias Chadosha? Because he's reconnected on a completely different level. He's reconnected after it would seem impossible to reconnect. So that's a whole new Metzias. And as we said, he's connecting and revealing Mamshech, the Midbar Ha'elyon. That's a Metzias Chadosha. Continuing now, Kambarum is Gambal Kote Torah. Has hinted to it. It's not the words of the Alter Rebbe, it's a Tzemach Tzedek. And it's even Tzaloima, Harim Mefurish Bekama Tevis. I'm not sure exactly his intent, but the Rebbe is saying that we could say that it's not just hinted, but it's actually explicit. How so? Shemevi, he brings from the Sefer Ma'ir, Kabbalah Sefer, Shekores, Ukeneged B'chines Keser. That Kores corresponds to Keser, the same letters. Now, in Pshat, it means, L'chayra, that when a person sins, he cuts himself off from Keser. What's Keser in simple language? God's will, the transgression of God's will. That's L'chayra in Pashtus, but he's saying here now that through the tshuva over Kores, that's following the hemshech we just said, now the head is severed, and yet Hashem Yasveini, so he connects and is mamshich to the level of Keser. And it would seem, mamish pnimius HaKeser, like Deizeh Boim, the Shana Chadosha, that's the whole new year, where the Eibush is mamshich, a new what? When we elicit from God, what? What's Rosh Hashanah, the whole Avodah? To elicit from Hashem, Ratzon Chodesh, a new level, but not the same old, same old. The Alter Rebbe says such a level of God's desire for us and creation that was never revealed before. And the Rebbe is saying that what elicits all of that is dafke the avodah of tshuva. Tshuva over sins that severed him. He is mamshech, a new keser, a new will, a new rotzen. He's become a mitzias chadosha, a whole new level of dedication. Hashem responds in kind and invests himself and his desire on a whole new level. Concluding the paragraph, so that's what he's saying in the square brackets, that by bringing this statement from the Moishe that Kodesh is connected Keser, they're saying it's quite explicit that he's saying that through the avodah of tshuva, of reconnecting the head, which is impossible, it's adishtalshalus and teva, but he does so. So that's a whole new level of existence, and that's being mamshich from the keser and pnimius hakeser, and that's the shana chadosha, she'oz meir oir chodesh elyon yoser, that each year a new light is revealed. Shlahaya meir adayim yemei olam oirin kazeh. There was never revealed such a light like this. Kedisa begeras hakadosh, says in Tanya. The big Kiddush of Chassidus, of Kabbalah, that every year is a deeper, God's invested deeper in us, in creation, and expresses deeper his essential desire for a relationship with us. Demis is Rosh Hashanah, we've talked about this once before, is the only Yom Tov and Yom Kippur, even without Chassidus, that there's an immediacy to it. At the Pshat level. It's current. Pesach is a Maisa thousands of years ago, and Sukkot and Shavuos. But even for a child, Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur is immediate. Being judged. So there is that aspect, even without Chassidus, of this is real and happening now. And without Chassidus, it's pretty frightening. You know, you stand on trial, who will live and who not, who by fire, who by water. But Chassidus came along and added this whole completely transforming Rosh Hashanah. You know, they're quaking in your boots of fear. Please don't strike me down. The whole davening is don't strike me down. Please don't kill me this year. Or my loved ones. And while you're at it, throw in health and panos. That's the whole Rosh Hashanah, just begging. So Chassidus came along and revealed, if anybody's doing the begging, it's God. I want to be part of your life, ever deeper. You're everything to me. Open up. Allow me in. And I'll help you reconnect after and the deepest disconnect. And not just reconnect, but reconnect even deeper than before. Renewal of the relationship and the connection and the purpose of life, of everything, in a cosmic and very personal way. Make me your king. But even that's in Nigla. Even that's in Gemara, Rosh Hashanah. Tam lichuni aleichem. Mamshech b'lekut Torah. The Rebbe continues. The Pasuk said, he quoted, Bikashtem Misham as Hashem Alekecha. The Misham, first of all, explained, can you tell me that Bakasha is only for what? Seeking. If you're seeking something that your person lost. So what is it that he lost? Alter Rebbe explains. What is it the Jew was lost that he's seeking? And he'll find it, Misham, there. What did he lose? It's the top line. You have the same letters. Yeah, the top line of Shin and Ches. He's a shoita ma'abed masha noisnim loy. It's a Gemara Chagiga. The Gemara, we didn't elaborate, so a little bit of elaboration here. The Gemara, how do you define a fool? A lachik fool is a tremendous ramifications of responsibility, etc. So how is a shoita defined? One of the criteria is he loses what you give him. If you can't hang on to something, then he doesn't have that wherewithal, then he's a halachic shaita. So Chassidus says, Ma'abed ma shenoistim loy, he loses the ma, the bittul. The ma that comes from the koyach ma, chachma. The ma, the bittul, that's in his neshama, it's lost, it's buried. That's the spiritual fool. So bikashta misham, we've got to, you'll seek me there, the place you lost it, that which you lost, that bittul, that nitzut, that spark that was burning brightly is dimmed and covered. So now he continues that after you find it, it's not enough. Even after he finds it, in other words, he summoned this new level of dedication, tshuva. He's committed, and Hashem has helped him, and he's ready, and he's going all out. It's midbar of kedusha. Midbar means not like a field even, which is there's rules and cultivation. It's all seder, sowing, planting. Midbar means he's wild. It's a wild place. His relationship, his avodah is going to be wild. Midbar. I could say even more. The field's a place of growth. It's not interested in his growth. It's not about his growth. It's about a connection to the Eibishter and his truth. We said before that the hallmark of Kedusha is growth. That's true, and even beyond. But this is a growth that is not measured in a whole program. It's going to be a Talmid Chacham, and he's going to be a big chassid. He's got a whole program. No, he's just totally there in a crazy way, period. That's midbar of Kedusha. So he's found that bittul and revealing it in a deeper way than he had ever before. Still, the Alter Rebbe says, not enough. If you He's not going to make kelim for it. It's going to be, it is the Torah Taka, but kelim the tikkun. They're going to need kelim. So he's ready for everything. Great. Now you got to translate this in an orderly way. Because if you're not going to have a keli, then the inspiration will depart. You got to ground it. The fire, he's on fire. He's on fire now. And he wants to connect to Hashem and lose himself within Hashem. But if the fire is not connected, without a wick, then or something else that can hold it, then there can't be any fire. It won't last. The fire cannot take hold unless there's a wick. And the same is also true of divine fire. As the pasuk says, God, your Lord's a consuming fire. So it needs a keli. It needs the wick to tether the fire. So the eitzah is to make kelim to this light. He's on fire. He's inspired. Sidus nefesh midbar. But now he has to ground it. So therefore, on this the pasuk says, she's saying, so he quoted earlier the psukim, Shir Hashirim. She found that the love of my life, of my soul. The pasuk continues in Shir Hashirim. Perek Gimel, pasuk Gimel. Achazavtiv, I grasp him, lo yarpeno, not let him go, not weaken the hold. Ad shevaisev al beis imi, until I bring him to my mother's house. Vil cheder heirosi, into the room of my birth. So what does mean? Baruchni is a Pirush Chazal. Zoya. Beis imi, where's the neshama bringing the Eibishter to hold him close? So the house of my mother is Teresha Biksav. That's the written law of a cheder hirasi, in the room where I was born. That's the cheder. That's the emphasis of the cheder. Kaponim zvu Teresha Balpeh. That's the oral law. I think simply the house is in general and the room is specific. So Teresh Biksav is the general, is the source, and the specifics, yeah, the room, that's Teresh Balpeh. Then you rate, so that's where she's the neshama, is bringing him, the Eibishter, to my mother's house, to my place of my birth. Hainu shakelim leid Hashem in Moishe HaTorah. So the Rebbe is saying we have to increase in Torah study, and this is a quantity and quality, to ground and to express. That's the keli for the drive, the tshuva, the fire. Not just davening. Well, there is a we have to learn, not just learning about davening. Commercial Kosov, like the pasuk says in Shir Hashirim there, quoted earlier. I will find you outside, she says, to the Eibishter. We explained that earlier. It's in the chutz misham, the tshuva comes from there. Elsewhere, Chassidus explains the nuance that the tshuva is found there, in the place of the Aveira. That's where the tshuva is found. Yes, but it's intolerable for a Jew to be there. It's the Aveira that forces and nettles him to do tshuva, the sin itself. He's so uncomfortable there. It's the misham that causes the tshuva, not something else came along and said, hey, what are you doing? Not inspiration from outside. It's the very matzah of the chet, because a Jew can't tolerate that. As you said before, according to the Alter Rebbe, not a Jew wants, not a Jew can be ultimately torn asunder from Hashem. That's the meaning of chutz. I'll find you outside. Ashak, I'll kiss you, and nobody will protest. Now, he touches it as we just said here. So when the amshacha is, the connection is big finding you outside, which is, as we just explained, will be kashta mishom. That's the tshuva that it comes from the matzav of the sin that he cannot bear. Is azay tzarech lis ashakha, I'll kiss you. What is that? Inyan neshike v'av, it's expression of love, and that's davening. We said before Torah, that's cheder imi, base imi, and cheder hirasi. And then the pasuk says and adds, ashakha, that's the inyan of davening, and neshike v'av, they kiss, they embrace and love. Shin avedis hatfilah, that's avedis hatfilah. Hainu, conclusion, shakelim leid Hashem, that the kelim, therefore, for the light of Hashem that is on fire within him, him gam ba'ishis hatfilah, it's not just in learning, but also davening. V'id inyan b'zeh, furthermore, shekiven shetachlis hakavan yalasis le'yizbarich dira b'tachtoinim, so it's not enough even Torah and tefillah. The Eibishter wants to be part of our lives all the way down at the physical level. Lachein tzarich li is gam avodah b'kav tzedakah v'mitzvahs. He's just covering everything, friends. So we have to increase in tzedakah and in mitzvahs, increase in quantity and quality. Mavu b'lekut Torah explains in lekut Torah. Shel oir pnei Hashem shebchinas ha'oir, to see the source, the arichas there. But for the light of Hashem, yeshnei kelim, you need two vessels. Shehem Torah v'chesed. So he said Torah, tefillah, chesed, meaning tzedakah and mitzvahs. Okay? What you say? Yeah? It's very clear, very nice. Now what's left? Yeah. Yeah. And the Rebbe says, excuse me. Yeah, I say. Schlamberg came for the Avodas Tzaddik. It was hard hitting till now before.
More applicable to me.
Very hard hitting Maimer. Hemshech to Shoiftim. You got to beat him up, and if you resist, you got to tie him up first, and then beat him up. That was Shoiter. But now, one wonders why the Rebbe is to say, why is he saying this? He's going to say now that it's even for what? For tzaddikim. Why do we have to know this? I'm asking you, what does it do for you? Let's read it. This whole avoid the midbar, it's not just for the one who sinned and blemished. This avoid is shaykh even to perfectly righteous. Why? Because Elul is becoming and entering to the king's palace with the king Musa is Baruch. To the very essence of Hashem, blessed be He, Musa is Baruch, and relative to the Eibishter himself, Gama Tzadikim Agmurim, the most righteous tzaddik in Bechinas Midbar, they're in the desert, they're other, V'tzrichim tshuva, they've got to return. Like it says in Zoya, the Keser, Ilah, the supernal Keser, talking about Bimamshich, a new Rotzen. So there's a Afagav Dio Eir Kadman, even though it's a primal light, it's a clear and sparkling light. Nonetheless, it's dark before the cause of all causes. The loftiest revelation relative to the Eibishter is concealment, is darkness. And likewise, Chedesh Elul Shabbai Mizgal Megimid Sarach Mishnim Shalosh Shana. That Chedesh Elul is the 13th divine attributes that are revealed that are compared to a rose. Kedisa B'Zoya, like I says in Zoya, the Shishanis, but they said earlier that the rose has 13 leaves, 13 petals. Kenega Gimid Sarachma correspond give 13 Imid Sarachmim. And now the Rebbe says, Shana Yesh Bo Gavan Sumak, a rose is red, red color. Gavan means color, Sumak means red. So that's also even give me the Sarachamim is dark, it's red. Before the cause of all causes, before Atzmo. So therefore, the whole Avodah of Tshuva pertains even to the greatest tzaddik. Before we go further, so I'm asking you, what is your opinion? What do we have to? It's very nice, okay. So what do we have to know this for? Now, what does it do for you knowing this? Nothing? Did it do anything for you?
Not yet.
Not yet. So think. I don't know. I'm just putting it there. First of all, just the first human reaction. It's all of us. Not alone in this. No, there's the Rishoyim, and they come to Shul, and there's the big Chassidim, and the Tzaddikim, and they're in their own world. No, we're all, everybody's the Avodah Tshuva, we're all in this together. We're all one. It's empowering and encouraging. And then there's other dimensions, the Tzaddik's Tshuva, since we're all connected, helps me in my Tshuva. He's toiling mightily, and he's engaging, and he's doing tshuva. He doesn't do it in a vacuum. We're connected. To some degree, he helps me, or to a big degree, steps me along. It's encouraging, not just my first reaction. Many other dimensions to this. Also that, like you've never arrived. Okay, so I've done this other extreme. So I've done my tshuva here. No, the tzaddik is doing tshuva. This is never ending.
And even the elements,
Huh?
and even the elements of our own avodah that are already good can still be better, right?
And then even the good stuff needs improvement. Yeah, it's tshuva, even or especially the mitzvahs, as the expression of Chassidim, that the Avedis, that quote, the Avedis the Jew does by the Rebbe, whatever, because his mechaper atones for the mitzvahs he does at home. What are the Avedis by the Rebbe? It's not so orderly. He's pushing the Shemoneh Esrei. He's not 3 steps back. There's no room to go, and maybe he's stepping on something, and then they're late and early. There's no time. So these Avedas, where you're lifted out of your own comfort zone of Kedusha, the Mechaper for the mitzvahs you did at home, which have a measure, can have it be tainted by a sense of, I'm a fine fellow. You're a fine fellow. Okay, Vav, think it further. Each one should give their own appreciation of this. Ois Vav, Zeho, okay, a little bit further. So the Shaila was key. So the Rosh Tevis are Elul, but Doidi Li is not Elul. Doidi Li is a Seresemei Tshuva. The final letters Yud take us all the way also to Seresemei Tshuva, so it contradicts the Rosh Tevis. Avani Doidi v'Doidi Li, right? Yeah. Answer. And this is going to answer. The whole Maimah went this way from the get-go. He went all the way to Simchas Torah, the first ois. Even though what we're engaged now is on Yelidoidi, that's our tshuva. Mashenkim v'doidi li Hashem's response. But Rosh Hashanah v'Yom Kippurim. that's only yet to come, become welcome nonetheless on his Berliel. We explained before Shakavon, the Bazesha Yaitzilah will upon of his Baruch Basod. What's the whole reason that we receive? What the intent, the objective of receiving is in countenance in the field, which is the Abed Chedesh Elul, is not to stop here. That they don't just meet here, which is wonderful, but they go back with him into the city. Not just the city, but his chamber, the chamber of his palace. Therefore, so even if when the king is in the field, in the way of Helem, there, already in a latent way, in a concealed way, there is the way he is. So we're already there. And he adds a very important point. Okay, this will leave for tomorrow. Very important Tanya, and then the Perek Daled, which will add profoundly to appreciating that connecting to the king so rudimentarily, even in the field, is already be'etzem heicha malchus. Okay, Mitzvah Hashem tomorrow.